Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lindsey's Little Library. So we're here today with a new little series that I've kind of been thinking about starting lately, and I found inspiration watching Katie over on Girl About Library. I'll leave a link to her channel below. She does 60-second book reviews and I love them. So as I was chatting with her and kind of basically telling her how I love them so much, she's like, totally do them. I'm like, oh, I don't know, 60 seconds seems really restrictive for me, but I definitely am not one to sit and review books for an extended period of time. So as I was chatting with a few friends about this, I kind of came up with this idea of soapbox book reviews, because when I get on my little passionate chat about a specific book, I usually end with, okay, I'll get off my soapbox now, but go buy the book. So here's the first one. Here's my first soapbox book review, and we are going to do it on Jodi Picoult's A Spark of Light. I had a couple books in mind to kind of start as the first one, but I thought this would be something that a lot of people have heard about, and there's definitely been some different varying opinions about this book since it's come out. So this was released, I think, last October. September, October. And I went and saw her do a author event, not super far from me, decent drive, but anyways, went and saw her, got the book as part of that, and so I got to hear a lot of the kind of behind the scenes, the why she picked this specific subject. So if you're not familiar with A Spark of Light, this follows a hostage situation that is occurring at an abortion clinic in Mississippi. This specific women's clinic is the only one that offers abortions in the entire state. So there's definitely a lot of pro-life versus pro-choice opinions in here, as well as we have the hostage negotiator who learns somewhat early on that his daughter is one of the hostages inside of the center. Right, so if that's not enough to kind of definitely give you a whole lot to think about, Jodi wrote this in reverse chronological order. So you start at 5 p.m. and you read backwards till 8 a.m. and then there is an epilogue that happens at 6 p.m. I believe. So that on top of all of this, there are, I believe, 10 main characters. So be aware of that. There's a lot of characters. I didn't have too many problems keeping them straight, who was who and what they kind of stood for and believed in and how they got there, but I know that's been a problem. My suggestion, I've done it before, is I've written notes, you know, this person is that person, this person worked here, or whatever I needed to do to keep it straight. So lots of things to talk about with this. First of all, this book will make you think, for sure. All of Jodi's books does it. She just does an amazing job at presenting us with some sort of issue that's very prominent, and you think. She puts you in both sides of the story. There's a lot of discussion around the timeline of the book. It does go back in time. She just wanted to try writing a book that way, and from the event I went to, it sounds like she won't ever do it again because it was a lot of work. I've heard some people say start at the end of the book and read forward, and I highly suggest you don't do that, because you are going to get a few spoilers really early on, and where they land in the book, it doesn't have the same impact as it does if you read it the traditional from start to finish, or from the beginning of the book to the end of the book. I am very interested in, now that I've read it through the way she wrote it, I want to go back and read it backwards in time and see if I pick up on anything that I may have missed, which I'm sure I will. So don't do that. Please don't do that. There's going to be some spoilers. I do know somebody, and she did it that way, and she definitely didn't enjoy the book as much as I think she would have if she read it the traditional way. This brings up a lot of really interesting topics. There are some amazing quotes in this book too, so make sure you have some tabs available or highlights or however you like to write down your quotes, because it talks about love, it talks about parenthood, it talks about women's rights and religion and all of that, and Jodi does it with such grace. Now, there are two sides represented in this book. You have pro-life versus pro-choice. One side may stick out above the other. I know some people had a struggle with that. But please continue to read the book. Take it as it is. It's meant to start conversations. The last bit I want to make sure that you do is there's an author's note at the end of the book, which I'm so guilty. I don't always read them, especially if they're a little longer or if I'm just done with being with that book. But please take the time. Her author's notes may be 3 pages long, 4 pages long. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 6. Whew, whatever it is. Please take the time to read her author's notes. She makes some really, really good points. And again, I think that really added to the book and how much I loved the book. This was definitely 5 stars for me. I can see where there are some people that maybe aren't loving it as much as in the past. It's not my favorite Jodi book. It still doesn't outshine The Storyteller and Leaving Time. Those may be just forever at the top of my list, but definitely one of the better ones I've read lately. I love, again, the way she just makes you think not only about the obvious issue, which is abortion, but also about family structure and how can we make things better so people don't have to be in a situation where they have to make those decisions. What is the definition of family? What does that mean? What is best for a child? What does that mean? She really brings up a lot of great points. So pick up the book, be open-minded when you go into it, grab your highlighter or tabbies, and read it as it is written for what it's worth. So there's my soapbox. I'll hop off of it now. If anybody wants to chat about the book down below, definitely leave some comments. I would love to hear your thoughts. Otherwise, like and subscribe, and let me know if I should do a little soapbox here on out. If you liked it, I don't know, it's my first one. I'll definitely try it again at least once more, but I would love to hear what you think. So other than that, I will see you guys next time. Bye!